Hey family, this is Pastor Jonathan from New Hope North Community Church in North Las Vegas, Nevada. Thanks for joining me in this installment of Pajama Pants Preaching. Several weeks ago in a previous post, I had mentioned that we ought to check our motives, and that we ought to check our motives even when we're doing good deeds. I had said that sometimes we can do good deeds for the wrong reasons. Sometimes we do good deeds to make ourselves feel better. It's not really about the other person. It's about doing something to make us feel better or to avoid doing things that we ought to do. Sometimes we do good deeds because we're hoping to be rewarded or recognized or praised. And so I suggested that we think about that and to check our motives even when we're doing good things for people. After watching that post, a friend of mine who has a 12-step recovery background reminded me that 12-step programs such as Alcoholics Anonymous have kind of a test for determining your motives in things. And that test is a 4-part test, and it's called the 4 absolutes. Those 4 absolutes are honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love. And those 4 absolutes actually predate the 12 steps. They were designed before the Alcoholics Anonymous program and are considered the foundation of many of their steps and their recovery process. So I just wanted to go through those because I think they can be helpful for anyone in helping check their motives. Like I mentioned, that the first of the 4 absolutes is honesty. And in that, we ask ourselves the question, is what we're doing or saying, is it true or is it false? Are we speaking and acting with integrity? Are we telling half the truth or are we telling all the truth? And so that would be the first part of helping us to determine what our motives are. You should know that this absolute, as well as the other 3, and in fact, the majority of the teachings in 12-step programs, along with the 12 steps, all have biblical foundations. And of course, being honest and having integrity and being truthful is certainly found in Scripture. For example, Psalm 15, as well as Titus 2, 6 through 8. But there are many, many places where we are encouraged by Scripture to be honest with ourselves and with others. The second of the 4 absolutes is purity. And in that, we are asking ourselves the question, is what we're doing or saying, is it right or is it wrong? Are we doing right because it's the right thing to do? And that's the only motive. As we are encouraged to do by the Apostle Paul when he wrote his letter to his disciple Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12, that we should do the right thing not for our own gain, but because it's the right thing to do. The third of the 4 absolutes is unselfishness. And we ask ourselves the question, how will what I'm doing or saying, how will it affect others? We should be putting others first, not putting our own desires or what we want to get out of things before that. We put others first, as of course we are encouraged to do by, again, the Apostle Paul, this time in his letter to the church in Philippi in chapter 2, verses 1 through 8. And fourth, the 4th absolute is love. And we ask ourselves the question, is what we're doing or saying, is it beautiful or is it ugly? Are we doing things because of fear or condemnation or self-condemnation? Or are we doing things out of love? And of course, the Apostle Paul, once again, defined for us what it means to love, what it means to act in love. And that, of course, is as is very familiar to many of you in his letter to the church in Corinth, his first letter in chapter 13, verses 4 through 8, where the Apostle Paul explained that love is patient, is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, and is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. He also said that love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, and love never fails. And we can see that when we act out of love, we're encompassing the other three absolutes. When we act in love, we are acting honestly. We are acting with pure motives. We are acting in purity and in unselfishness and putting others first. So that's the lesson for today, and the reminder that we need to do all things in love, and because love is an action, and that when our actions and our motives are covered in love, then we know that our motives are pure. And so I encourage you to continue to check your motives and to check yourselves to see, are you acting out of love? Are you doing and saying things out of love or out of selfishness? And as you consider those things, I would love to hear your thoughts on it, how it's going, any struggles you're having regarding that. So please contact us at newhopenorthcc.com, or of course you can hashtag Pajama Pants Preaching. And with that, I hope you have a blessed day, and we will talk soon.